We now present The Quare Fella, a play by Brendan Behan, adapted for radio by Philip Rooney, and produced by me, Holloway. The Quare Fella.
Now it's only a matter of hours. 24 hours. A new jail day is beginning, an uneasy torture day. In the condemned cell a man waits, the man they call the Quare Fella. He waits in his cell, guarded for every minute of those last 24 hours that are left to him. Still, his presence is felt in every nook and corner of the great silent jail, as prisoners are released from their cells to face a new and dreadful day.
A hungry feeling came on me stealing, and the mice they went squealing in my prison cell. And that old triangle in 20 years younger along the banks of the riot canal. The blue was keeping and the light lay sleeping.
Hey, you there! The screw is listening as well as peeping, and you'll be bloody well weeping if you don't give over your moving. If I go down there, I'll give you something to sing about. B-wing, wings 2, 3, and 1. Stand to your doors.
Along the banks of the riot canal.
It's not a bad morning for the races.
No, I don't think I can make it today. Too much to do in the office. Oh, yeah, I heard a lot of commotion last night around in G-Wing. There must have been one of them reprieved.
Which one? There's 2 for a haircut and shave tomorrow.
Oh, I don't know. Dunlapin would know there. Give him a call.
Hey, Dunlapin. Dunlapin, are you going to scrub that place of yours away? Hey, Dunlapin.
What's all they shouting about? I'm shining up for a special visitor. Healy from the department is coming up today to inspect the cells. Hey, listen, Dunlapin. You're like the news of the world. Sitting there at the corner of the wing with a joint in the hot water pipe getting your news from every art and part any time you put your ear to it. Tell us, sir, what was the commotion last night round in G-Wing? Did the Quare Fella get a reprieve?
Now, which Quare Fella do you mean? The fella bet his wife to death with the silver-top cane. There was a presentation to him from the Combined Staffs Excess and Refunds branch of the late great Southern Railways was reprieved, though why he got chucked any more than the other fellas more than I can tell.
Well, I suppose they looked at it this way. He only killed her and left it at that. He didn't cut the corpse up afterwards with a hatchet.
Oh, terrible business. There's nothing so common as a hatchet. Real bogman act. Nearly as bad as a shotgun, or making a mistake and getting the weed killer mixed up in the stirabout. But a man with a silver-top cane, oh, that's a man that's a step above buttermilk, no matter how you look at it.
Well, I suppose we can expect Silvertop round soon to start his life.
Aye, he'll be left in the condemned cell until this morning, and then they'll transfer him over here.
Yeah, into one of them vacant cells either side Dunlavin, I suppose.
Here's a God, you're right. There's a new card in the door already. Oh, it's the murderer, all right. Poor old Silvertop. Killing your wife is a natural thing, 'cause happened to the best of us. Only I hope bringing him down here won't upset the whole morning on us. I'm hoping to touch Uncle Healy today for a good letter to the Roomkeeper Society for when I get out.
Healy was here at Tuesday.
Oh, he's always around the day before an execution. I think he must be in the hanging and flogging section. But outside his job in the department, he's in some holy crowd that does good be stealth. They go round not letting the right hand know what the left hand do it, as the man said. So they never put either hand into their pockets in case the other had finds out, so you'd never get money off of them. But they can give letters to the Prisoners' Aid and the Morning Star and the Roomkeepers. Of course, Uncle Healy is not here today as a holy man. He's only here to fix up your man getting hung in the morning. Well, sometimes, if you get the right side of him, he doesn't mind mixing business with pleasure, so to speak, and you can put the arm on him to get your letter for the few bob when you get out.
This fellow was dead lucky to be reprieved.
Silver top. Live lucky, I'd call him.
With two fellas waiting to be tapped the one morning, he was steep to get chucked. Usually they don't like reprieving one and tapping the other.
So as to be on the safe side and not to be making fish of one and flesh of the other, they usually hang both of them. And of course, another way of looking at it, the minister might have said, enough is as good as a feast.
Gotcha, it must be a great thing to be told at the last minute that you're not going to be topped after all. To be lying there sweating and watching. The two screws for the death watch coming on at 12 o'clock, and the two going off shaking hands with you. And you go to bed and stare up at the ceiling.
And the other two screws nod to each other across the fire to make a sup of tea. But the two is easy in case they wake you. And you turn round at the bed towards the fire and you say, I'll have a sup as you're at it. And one of the screws says, oh, so you're awake, Mick. We were just wetting it. Isn't it a good job you spoke up in time?
And after that, the tea is drunk, and they offer you cigarettes, or the mouth is burned off you from them. Anyway, you've more than they have. You've that many believing them after you. And you lie down and get up and lie down. And the two screws not letting on to be minding you, and not taking their eyes off you for 1/2 minute. And you walk up and down a little bit more.
And they ask you, would you look another game of drafts? Or would you sooner write a letter? And getting on till morning, you hear a bell out in the city. And you ask them the time, but they won't tell you.
But they'll put a good face on it. And one will say, there's that old watch stopped again. And he says to the other screw, have it the time, Jack. And the other fella makes a great joke of it, and says, well, if I run up as far as the North City pawn office and ask them to let me have a look at it. And then the door is unlocked, and everyone sweats blood. And they come in and ask your man to stand up a minute. That's if he's able. While they read him something. I am instructed to inform you that the minister he has recommended to the president.
And the Quare Fella says, did you say has recommended or has not recommended? I didn't quite catch that.
I bloody hope that he catches it. Though I remember once in a case like now, when there was two fellas waiting to be topped over two different jobs, didn't the bloody fella from the prison board, in old Max Creeve's time it was, didn't he tell the wrong man he was reprieved? And he was delighted in the cell for a few hours, and then they had to go back and say, sorry, my mistake, but you're to be topped after all.
And the fellow that was reprieved, I bet he was glad.
Of course he was glad. Anyone that says that a condemned man would be better off hung than due on life, let him leave it to his own discretion. Do you know who feels it worse going out to be chopped?
Cork, man, and Northerns. They've such hard necks.
Why, do you have to do me funny half hour for Holy Healy? I'm talking serious now.
Well, tell us, don't love him.
The man that feels it worse going into that little house with the red door and the silver-painted gates at the bottom of G-Wing is a man that has been in the nick before, when some other merchant was chopped, or he heard screws or old lags in the bag shop, or at exercise talking about it. A new chap that's never done anything but murder, and that only once, is usually a respectable man that has never been in the nick, such as Silvertop here. He knows nothing about it, except a few lines about the inquest that he'd seen in the papers. Condemned man entered the hanghouse at 7:59. As 8:03, the doctor pronounced life extinct.
Ah, that's a lot of malarkey. In the first place, the doctor has his back turned after the trap goes down, and doesn't turn and face it till the screw has caught the rope and stopped it swinging.
Oh, you're right there. I heard a geezer in the nick in England. He told us that one bloke lived 17 minutes on the rope, according to their own medical report. This bloke was a medical orderly in the Willie. He got brought back and done under the Official Secrets Act for smuggling out medical reports and hangings and selling them to the Sunday papers.
I'll lay odds to a make that Silvertop isn't half charmed with himself. He's not going with the Quare Fella in the morning.
You could sing that if you had an ear to it.
I suppose they'll have him over here any time now.
Oh, any minute now. Hey, will you look at the time? I can't be standing here yapping to yous. I'm to hang up me holy picture and think up a few funny remarks for Uncle Healy. God, what Jimmy O'Gee's getting thousands for, I've got to do for an old pair of socks and a ticket for the morning star.
Oh, here's that pair of young hooligans again. Why they can't send young prisoners to Barstow instead of having them persecuting decent people?
What brings you fellas round here this morning?
Our screw told us to sweep all round the juvenile wing and then come round here and give us a bit of a going over too.
And have you your wing done?
No, but if we did our wing first, we missed the moths hanging out the laundry. You can't see them from our wing like you can from the window on this landing.
Just as well, maybe. You're bad enough as it is.
But I'll tell you what you will see from our wing this morning. It's the carpenter bringing up the coffin for the Quare Fella and leaving it over in the mortuary to have it handy for morning.
Yeah.
There's two other orderlies besides us over in the juveniles, and we were going to toss up to see who'd come over here. But sure, they're country fellas, and they said they'd sooner see the coffin. I'd sooner have peeped at a good-looking moth than the best coffin in Ireland, wouldn't you, Michael?
Oh, certainly I would. And outside that, when you're over here, there's always a chance of getting a bit of education about screwing jobs and such like from an experienced man. Hey, do you think triplex or celluloid is the best for Yale lock, sir?
Hey, do you carry the stick all the time, sir?
If I had a stick, I'd know where to put it.
Hey, get sweeping. Here's the screw.
Only one more time.
Here he is.
It's Silvertop. I remember him being half carried into the circle the night he was sentenced to death.
He has a right spring in his step this morning, then.
Oh, he's not looking all that happy. Still, I suppose he hasn't got over the shock yet.
Stand by the door with your name on it. Later on, when you've seen the doctor, these fellas will show you how to lay out your kit. Stand there now till the doctor is ready to see you.
Took everything from me. Food, books, a drop of whiskey I had, even the newspapers, and stripped me and put me into this convict rig. Even the supper I couldn't eat last night. There was rashes and eggs and that. I got up an appetite after I heard the news and said, I'll eat it now. And they said it was too late. I was on convict diet. Took me cigarettes. Have any of you a cigarette?
That's a hot one.
Look, it's not like being on remand or in the condemned when you're here. You see, we're convicted over here. We don't get any snout. Only a jog end you'd scrounge after a man's or pick off the exercise yard after a man like yourself that'd be allowed them for special reasons.
Not that we picked up much after you.
I didn't smoke much in the open air. Only at night time in the cell with the two warders.
What did you do with the dog ends? With the butts?
Oh, I suppose I threw them in the fire. I didn't know.
You're a liar, my friend. You did know. How was it the other poor devil that got no reprieve and is to be topped in the morning? How was it he was always able to leave a trail of butts behind him when he went off exercise?
The other man has been in prison before. I didn't understand.
Maybe your man here didn't understand.
He did understand. I was whispered to him be the fellas from the hospital bringing over the grub to condemned cells. Never gave them as much as a match. Wouldn't even bring his dog ends to the exercise yard and drop him behind for us to pick up when we came out later.
At a time like that I wasn't bothered. Me nerves in bits, passing that iron door painted red and the silver barred gate in front of it. Every time I went in and out, to exercise, up to the chapel, to the lavatory. Every time I went for water, the tap is right beside it, and sometimes I used to put my hand on it and touch the bars.
Listen, shall we understand. Don't we, Joanna?
Yeah, of course we do. Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, you're a lucky man you're not going through that iron door tomorrow morning.
I don't know. This morning when he came in and read me the communication that I was reprieved, I could have fallen on me 2 knees and kissed the toe of his shoe. Then the 2 officers that were with me, we shook hands and they gave me a drop of whiskey. They were tired and the chief asked me if I minded them going off. Could I sleep by myself till morning? Mind? To be on my own, without being watched? I thought it was like being outside again. I lay down on the bed and slept till I was woken up by a warder. I forgot that I'd been reprieved and remembered this was the morning, and I struggled up and nearly died of heart failure. But he only wanted to search me before they'd bring me down to the reception. He was one that had been on with me before in the cell, and he was very nice and kept telling me I'd be reprieved.
I'd be bound to say that. Wouldn't be much bottle saying anything else, would it?
He was always so nice. I felt a button in my pocket and asked him for a light. He took it from me and said I couldn't have it, that it was against the rules. Then I said to him that he was right after all when he said that I'd be reprieved, and he told me to have less talk and to get a move on down to the reception. And there they battered me and put me in these...
I'd sooner be wearing that old suit, bad as it is, than the wooden overcoat the Quare Fella's going to get tomorrow morning.
The warders are all changed this morning. Before it was, good morning, when they come into the cell, and keep your chin up, old son, and good night now, and try to get a sleep when they were going off duty. But this morning none of them would even speak to me. Anyone would think I'd done something wrong on them.
There's no difference. Only yesterday it seems as if you'd be with them for only another few hours. Now it looks like you're going to be in prison for a little while longer.
For the rest of me natural life.
You know well it's not for as long as that. The longest you could do be 20 years. More than likely you get out in half of that. The last man to finish up in the bog, he done 11.
I couldn't face it. How could I do 10 years, 11 years?
You'd have to do it the same as many another one. A minute at a time.
Yeah. Maybe Dunlavin would have a bit of snout for this chap. Hey, Dunlavin. Have you no smoke you give this chap? Hey, Dunlavin.
Yes. What is it? Anyone there to name a headache?
Hey, listen, could you ever manage to give this chap something to smoke? A bit of snout at all.
Hanton at all, Mr. Dunlavin. A cigarette end, a bit of tobacco.
There's only the one brand of tobacco allowed here. 3 nuns. None today, none tomorrow, none the day after.
Hey, Dunlavin, go back to hell with that.
Well,
Listen, this poor chap here, after been smoking about 60 a day.
Where?
In the condemned cell. Where else? And then to be...
Oh, now I have you. The fella got the good word. Certainly so, I have a butt for you. Reprieved the small hours this morning? Certainly so. The dead of Rose and appeared to many's the man said. But you'll be getting yourself into trouble standing at that other fella's door. Stand over there at 22, that's where you are. Has your name there in the little card and all your particulars. Age 43, religion RC.
Date of expiration of sentence, life. Earliest possible date of release, life. There's nothing here about 20 years or 11 years or any more. It says life.
And a bloody sight better than death any day of the week.
It always says that. They'll consider your case every 5 years. The governor will explain it all to you later this morning.
Well, maybe holy Uncle Healy out of the department to send for you and explain it to you.
That's right. Now listen, go into your cell and have a smoke for yourself. Bring in your kit bag. Have a quiet burden there before the screw comes around. We'll keep Nick.
Thanks.
Are we having him before the doctor with the rest of us?
If Holy Healy doesn't want to talk to you, oh, here's that pair of so-and-sos again. For God's sake, shut up that squawking.
We've as much right to open our mill as what you have.
Leave the kids alone. You don't own the place anyway, and they do no harm. Hey, you two. You must want to sweep this bit of floor away.
What brings you round here so often? If you went over to the remand wing, you might pick up a bit of snout or a look at the paper.
We get a smoke in the mail every day off a sham of our road that's on remand. He's in over motor tours. But round here this morning you can see the moths from the laundry over the female side hanging out the washing and the exercise, yeah.
Right, they should be out nearly now.
Oh, look, you can see them now.
Hey, is the blondie one from North Crumlin there?
Yeah, and there's another one with her. Oh, I don't know her.
Must be a country man.
Yeah, must be.
What's all the barney about, Dunlavin? What's all the barney about? Oh, it's them two again. Them and their mots.
Hey, that's all I want to you, neighbour. I'd like you to know that that's my mot, and I'm enjoying to be waving at her.
Hey, that's the size of a Joe Egypt. It's his girl.
Pay no heed to them, neighbour. When they're as long coming in there with a nick as you and me,
Putting up with that kind of chat from them, there's not a wet day in the place.
For God's sake, can't you give over squabbling? A man can't enjoy the last smoke he's likely to get for many a day. And things bad enough. Shut up, I tell you.
Yeah, don't tell us to shut up. One more word out of you and I...
Listen, leave him alone. He's the one that's starting life this morning.
Oh, we're sorry, mister. Ain't we, Michael?
Certainly so we are. We meant nothing personal.
Certainly we didn't. Not a man going off to Marlborough to the bog to start life. Well, you won't see a moss.
Not a child.
Not a dog.
Not a fire.
Go round to hell with that to your own wing. When you think a man would know all that for you telling it to him?
We're going round anyway. No call for you to be losing your shirt. All we was trying to do was to tell the man we were sorry for him. And him due for a lifer. Come on, Michael.
Them young divils have too much old gab out of them altogether. I was a YP in Walton before the war, and I can tell you they'd have been quiet boys if they got the lurrying we used to get.
Oh, damn the lie. You know, I think I'll go in and have a bit of a rest. It's hard work down on Lagan.
A lagging is penal servitude, isn't it?
3 years or anything over.
3 years is a long time.
I wouldn't like to be that long hanging.
Just think, remand and all. I've hardly been in 3 months. And I've 3 times 3 years, and maybe 6 times 3 to do yet.
You only started life this morning.
Only finished it, you mean?
You'd have finished it surely like the other poor devil in the morning if it wasn't you for the reprieve.
Oh, it's all right for you to talk. You go out of here in a couple of months. How would you like to spend the rest of your life here?
We'd be back anyway. In a way, I wouldn't mind it. Would you, Dunlavin?
No, neighbour. I don't know whether I would or not. We're too old and bet for lobby watching and shaking down any way you could lay your head. So you'd fall down and sleep on the pavement of a winter's night and not know but you were lying snug and comfortable in the shell button.
Only then to wake up in some lobby and the hard floor boards under you, and the cold and the dirt choking you, and the dry retching to come on you, and wishing it was morning for the market pubs to open, where if you had the price of a glass of cider you could sit in the haze anyway. Except God looked down on you if it was Sunday.
Oh, there's the agony. No pub open, but the bells battered in your bed nerves. And all you could do with the cold and the sickness was to lean over on your side and wish that God had called you.
If I were outside, my life wouldn't be like that.
No, but ours would.
Oh, there's the agony. No pub open, nothing but the bells.
See, we're selfish, mister, like everyone else.
Anyway, I find it very hard to believe that anyone lives like that in Dublin.
Oh, those queer things happens in Dublin, mister.
Medical applications and receptions. Fall in for the doctor.
Does that mean me?
Yes, go on up there to the top of the wing at the circle and wait there till the screw tells you to go in. Neighbour, call them other fellas.
Come on.
Go on
The bed's here.
Go on up there, you with the rest of them.
Me and Dunlap don't go up. We only wait to be rubbed.
I'm going to get me chair. You can sit in it after me. To save you bringing down yours. Here we are.
Well, if you go first and have a chance of a go at the spirit bottle, don't swallow the bloody lot. Remember, I'm for treatment too.
Don't be such a big grudger. He'd bring a quart bottle of it. And who could swallow that much methylated spirits in the few swigs you get at it?
Oh, you could. Or a bucket if it was lying anywhere handy. I seen you do it, blue stone and all. Only buns to a bear as far as you were concerned.
Yeah, terrible gas, hadn't you? No sign of Holy Healy yet this morning.
Oh, you've great chasing off the Holy Healy. He told us here one day, and I looking for an owl overcoat or something, that he was here only as the head man of the department. And he could do no other business of any sort or size whatever, good, bad, or indifferent, when he was on his rounds here. He don't, but I went to him outside over in that holy place where he sits of a Friday night, and asked him did he not remember me from this place. And he told me that he never asked any man about his past. You know, it's my opinion old Healy just be half jarred a deal at the time.
Oh, the likes of Healy would take us up all right. But being a high-up civil servant, he wouldn't drink under his own name. You'd see the likes of him nourishing themselves at 11 in the morning with balls and malts in little back snugs and public houses round Merrion Road thereabouts. Oh, the curate would lose his job if he as much as breathed their name. It'd be, Mr. H wants a drop of water, but not much. Yes, Mr. Rowe. No, sir, Mr. Mac wasn't in this morning. Yes, Mr. G, lovely morning. Be fine, David doesn't snow. But education drinking, even a bit of chat about God and odds for him. But education chat, like you think God was in another department, but not long up off the bog and about trying to do him a good turn and be talking well about.
Hey, not a bad set either if a fellow was in the way of it.
Oh, it wouldn't be gargling within the meaning of the act, like you and me. Getting a flagon of cider and a bottle of the Queen Mother's finest 3-star old encrusted port, 3 and 6 to 5 nagging bottle, and going up a lane and coming back down in half an hour, stouches, drunk and singing the Valley and knocking it up.
Here's not the crowd, Mike. The medical order will be down to us soon.
And yourselves now, all except these men. You're the two for the rubs for your rheumatism, huh?
That's right, sir. Owls and Beth, that's us. And the old pains is very bad with us these times.
Not so much lip. Sit down now, whoever's first for treatment.
That's me, sir. I'm the oldest. And as the man said, age before ignorance.
All right. Right the leg of your trousers now. Which leg is it?
The left, sir.
But that's the right leg you're showing.
That's what I was saying. The left is worse one day and the right is bad the next. To be on the safe side, you've got to give the two of them a rub. Oh, it's only the mercy of God and not a caterpillar so with the weather that's in it.
Oh, well, is that where the pain is?
A little lower down, sir, you please. Just a little down, and it's all equal to you. Oh, that's massive, sir. Oh, it's you that has the healing hand. You must be desperate looking at the horses. I'd only love to be copying your jackets. Oh, that's it, sir. Well into me. I can feel it going. Oh, that's it. Oh, I can feel it going right into me, do me all the good in the world. Oh, that's it, sir. Thorough justice. If you're going to do a thing at all, you might as well do as well. Oh, may God reward you, sir. You must be the seventh son of a seventh son on your mother's side. Oh, that's the cure for the colds, the winds, the wurtles, and the
Here, come on, the other leg.
Attention! All correct, sir.
Holy Haley.
At attention.
Be the left laugh.
Two receiving medical treatment. All correct, sir.
So there you are.
Yes, just getting her up for down like Mr. Haley saw her spit.
I thought as much. It almost smells like a bar.
I near drunk myself, sir, on the smell of it.
Well, don't let me interrupt the good work.
It's the old legs, sir, being out in all weathers. Of course, I haven't that complaint here, sir.
No, I suppose not. I've been inspecting your cell amongst others this morning. It's always a credit to you, I must say.
Well, sir, to tell you the truth, it's a bit extra special today. We heard you were here, and I do like to keep me little places home as I can with the little holy picture you get me.
Well, I'm glad to see that you're being looked after.
Well, it's neither this nor that, sir, but if you could spare me a minute.
Yes, what is it? But hurry, remember I've a lot to do today.
Well, it's like this, sir. I won't always be here, sir, having me leg rubbed and me bit of grub brought to me. As it says in the Bible, sir, have it yourself or be without it. And what you buy for the rainy day, for thou know not the night thou mayest be sleeping on the lobby.
Yes, but what is it you want?
Well, I've the chance of a little room up around Buckingham Street, sir. If you could only give me letter to the room keepers for after I go out and a bit of help at the rent.
Well, you know, when I visit the prison, I'm not here as a member of any outside organisation of which I may be a member, but simply as an official of the Department of Justice.
Ah, yes, but where else would I be likely to meet you, sir? I'd hardly bump into you in jammets when I be outside, would I, sir?
No, I suppose not. Well, you know the society offices in the square. See me there any Friday night between 8 and 9.
Oh, thank you, sir, and a bet in heaven to you, sir.
And the same to you. I'm to see the prisoner who was reprieved. Why isn't the warder here?
It'll be Warder Regan, sir. I'll see to it, sir. You two, into yourselves now. I'll finish the treatment later. I'll get Regan for you now, sir. Warder Regan.
All correct, sir. Regan, sir. I'm sorry I was delayed, sir. I had to see the canon about some business relating to tomorrow morning.
Oh, that's all right, Regan. I think I heard the canon mention you. He seems to think a lot of you, Regan. You serve mass or something, don't you?
Too old and too bad for that now, sir. I meet the canon at executions.
Oh, dear me, yes. Tomorrow morning. Yes. You help the canon at executions.
I don't help the canon, sir. I help the condemned man, or so a lot of them seem to think. But my job in the long run is to see that the man doesn't do away with himself during the night, and that he goes off the top in the morning without making too much noise about it. But the canon has nothing to do with that. He's only there because he has heard there may be a Christian in danger of death. Me and the hangman, and, if you don't mind me saying so, yourself, sir, we're the danger of death.
I went to see the canon this morning to tell him that we appreciated what an ordeal the execution was, and he practically told me this was none of my business, and told me I couldn't make God my accomplice. As if I wanted anyone to be hanged.
Well, maybe he thinks you believe in hanging, sir.
Don't you believe in capital punishment?
In neck-breaking and throttling? They say, sir, if you call veal dead calf, no one would eat it. I wonder if you call capital punishment neck-breaking and throttling, would it turn the people off it?
I can't see how society could exist without it.
Well, I've seen such a lot of it, sir. I suppose familiarity breeds contempt. But do I believe in it? Well, it works. I've never seen the fella could go out and drink a pint after it. You mean we kill people to stop other people killing other people?
And because they have killed other people?
Oh, sir, in the business we never mentioned that part of it. That'd be revenge.
But we give a condemned man every spiritual facility. I venture to say some of them died holier deaths than if they had finished their natural span.
But that's not our reason for hanging them, sir. We don't advertise commit a murder and die a happy death. Oh, you'd want to be very careful in what you're saying, sir, or you'd have them all at it.
Well, the fact remains a condemned man does get a priest and the sacraments, more than his victim got, maybe.
Well, sir, maybe it'd be more of a deterrent if we gave them no priest and no sacrament.
That, my man, is ridiculous talk.
Certainly it's ridiculous talk, for you couldn't beat God. You couldn't keep him out of the hanghouse if the condemned man wanted him. He'd be there one side of the trap and his mother the other side, or waiting below to catch your man when he was dropped. And 'twas all the same if you put 10 battalions of soldiers round that hanghouse. God had come when your man called him.
That's the sort of a Catholic you are.
God forgive me, I'm a deal worse than that. And a deal worse than you, sir, I suppose, if it comes to that. But God is not to be made work along with us as a deterrent. He's a deterrent against every sort of sin, not only murder. And there's 9 commandments besides the 5th one, sir. At least there was in my catechism. God doesn't have to work through judges, department officials, ministers.
Warders?
That's right, sir, warders. Hangmen, ropes, drops, levers, traps. No, God doesn't have to use all these yokes for punishments, any more than he uses money, cars, good jobs, stocks, shares, umbrellas, or county managers' hats for awards. That's what the canon says, sir.
I know. He told me I likened the kingdom of heaven unto Green Street Courthouse.
So, if the priest comes with your man, it's for God's sake he does it, and for your man's, it's got nothing to do with us, with me, you, or the hangman.
I wish you wouldn't keep saying me and the hangman all the time. I've never met the hangman, and for the matter of that, I've never seen a hanging.
I'm sure you didn't, sir. I'm sure you didn't. Not much sense in keeping a dog if you have to bark yourself. But the priest does, and it makes it easier on the man that's to be hanged, except in one little way sometimes.
What way?
A person so near death, and having all his troubles settled, They'd sometimes cry, sir. Not from fear of the rope, but because they see now what they might have done to please God at such little cost to themselves when they were in their health, so to speak. They could have made him a free gift of an odd little thing now and again during their life. And now they only have a few minutes to love him in. Just when they've found him, they're going to lose him to gain him for all eternity. But never again for as long as time will they ever have the chance as a human being to offer him anything here in this world standing free in their own ground. No. But they'll have that couple of minutes anyway. More than you or I'll have, sir. We won't be hanged, I don't suppose.
I should suppose not, in spite of the canon's opinion of me.
You don't want to mind the canon, sir. You don't want to mind him. He has a lot on his mind.
Well, if you think that way about it, I wonder you stop in the service at all.
I don't know. It's a soft enough job between hangings. At least, I better put up with it now, for I'm not likely to get another one at my time of life.
In Rome or France or on the continent, Regan, they'd hardly take you for a Catholic at all.
Well, if they were giving anything for it, I could show me baptismal certificate and me marriage lines.
It's the penalty of isolation, I suppose. You see, Regan, you are what might be termed an Irish Catholic.
I didn't get much chance of being anything else, sir, unless it would be an Irish Protestant. Decent enough class of people, I believe, but Protestants in England find something the matter with them. I might have been an Irish Jew, but I suppose the Jews in America find something the matter with them. But sure, none of us can help it, sir. And I suppose the lot of us, Catholics, Protestants and Jews, we all would have been born in some better place if we had known about it in time.
It's hard for an educated man to keep his faith in a country like this. And it's little help he gets from people like the canon.
A high-up man in the department like yourself, you don't want to mind the canon at a time like this. He takes death very seriously. And death is very close to us here today.
Death seemed very close all through the slow day. The picture of the double cell, where the warders sat 2 by 2 with the man about to die, was in every man's mind as the routine of the jail day went its slow course, from cell to workshop, from landing to exercise yard.
The water falling, get out of bed and clean up yourself. And an old triangle is when jingles jangle along the banks of the Royal Canal.
B1, B2, B3, lead on for exercise. Right, lead on B1, all the way to exercise.
While he lay there weeping for his girl's sound.
Where's the baritone? You up there in B-wing, shut up that noise. Where do you think you are?
It's not up there, sir. It's one of the fellas in the base, in the solitary.
He must be getting bird seed with his bread and water. I'll show him he's not in a singing house. Shut up that noise or I'll leave you weeping. Shut up there, I tell you. Where do you think you are? All right, you. You can get sitting down here in the exercise yard any of you that wants to.
Oh, I'm enjoying. The head's bursting on you. Oh, I'm enjoying.
Yeah, well, if you aren't selfish, it's greed that's killing you. To swipe out of these bottle of meds when you went looking for Regan. And to swallow the lot without asking a neighbour to help you. A small loss he caught you.
Yeah. What did the screw say to Levin when he catches lying in the cell with all the meds drunk?
Oh, he wanted to take me up for drinking it on him. But I got the right side of him. Tell him I was so distracted to be thinking of the fellow that's going to be chopped in the morning, I didn't know what I was doing. Now, he just told me to get up to hell out of it and hope the meds would destroy me for life.
Oh, the divil to destroy. No harm in a drop of meds. Of course, the stuff they use these times would never come up to the pre-war article. Oh, that was the stuff that'd take years off of you.
I suppose if you had a nagging of that under your belt, neighbour, you wouldn't look a day over 90.
I wasn't that old the day you were born. And if you done all the time I have, you wouldn't look much younger.
What time? Sure, you never done a lagging in your life. A month here and a week there for lifting a collection box out of chapel or running out of a chemist with a bottle of cheap wine.
Oh, you were a hard job.
I done a couple of laggings. 5 years and 7. And a bit of preventive detention on the moor in a Parkhurst. Not like you. Handing over a car for 6 months would be the death of you.
5 years, 7 years for what? For ferocious begging?
I haven't got your habits. I wasn't a grasshopper or an ark for the screws anyway, wherever I was. And if you were in a lagging station, I know they'd give you.
Aye.
Stopping that poor devil that was singing in the chokey. He was only trying to be company for himself down there all alone by himself, not knowing whether I was day or night.
And if I did it self, wouldn't the screw have heard him? And if he didn't get over in time, maybe the chief of one of the principals could come out and hear him. And maybe give him a few extra days down there.
Oh, will yous give over the pair of yous for God's sake? The noisiest battered me bared nerves is unhuman. They wouldn't do it out with the mews. An Englishman has more nature to a fellow lying with a sick head. Oh, a methylated martyr, that was I am.
Myself and that man sitting there, we done time before you came up. In Kilmainham. And that's where you never were. First 14 days without a mattress, and skilly 3 times a day. None of you sitting out in the yard like nowadays. I got me toe amputated for the sake of getting out to the hospital on the outside for the feet and the smoke. And was I right, Dunlavin?
Pity you didn't get your head amputated as you were at it. It would have kept you quiet for a bit.
I got me mouth to talk the same as the next man. Maybe we're not all that well up that we can get up at the Christmas concert and do the electrocutionist like that.
It's neither this nor that, neighbour, but if you should only give over arguing the toss about nothing and change over to a friendly subject of mutual interest, like the Quare Fella's going to be hung tomorrow morning.
Oh, true for you, Dunlavin. Maybe this other fella will get a reprieve too before the night's out.
God, can you fellas talk of nothing but hangings and reprieves? Have you no hearts?
Your man doesn't like to talk about hanging.
Oh, he forgot he was only reprieved himself this morning.
Hey, well, he's gone now. We can have a chat about it in pace. Sure, he must be saying something, and it's better than scandalise our neighbours.
Aye, maybe they'll let him off. The Quare Fella I mean.
And that's a chance. Never in a race of cats. He'd be hung as high as Gilderoy. I'd nearly laid me son to bacon on it if anyone had be ages enough to bet theirs that he'd be chucked. Too late now for him to get reprieved.
Hey, any takers? Neighbour lays a Sunday bacon to a Sunday bacon, your man is topped in the morning. Any takers that even bacon's the field. Yourself, sir?
I wouldn't date anything he'd be after handling, not unless it was well fumigated first. Maybe it's the yellow janders or the foot and milk to see you get off of it.
Oh, is that so?
Now, sir, don't interrupt that betting. Hey, you sir over there, you have the pull of a sportsman. What about you?
I know, sir. I wouldn't like to be having anything to do with a thing like that, sir. I wouldn't care for the like of that at all, sir. No, I wouldn't.
What's wrong with him? You think with the sorrowful voice of him was going to be chopped in the morning, not the Quare Fella?
Oh, she's only a kid. He's over in the juveniles until he turned 20 day before yesterday, and they shipped him over here. A grand birthday present, huh?
Ah, it's the sight of the open grave that's sickening the lad. Wouldn't you think to do more than put a bit of canvas round it if they have to have it in the yard where young lads like that erect their size?
If he's as soft as all that, the next no place for him.
Ah, he's a country fella. From the same part as the new screw, the young Kremen fella. Ah, it's tough on a raw lad like that to be in for the first time when there's a man going to be chopped.
There'll be no one chopped in the morning. The Quare Fella'll get his reprieve.
Oh, God, you were great gas. You were wasting your time here. There'd be no more reprieves. One was plenty.
What do you want bringing all that up for? Do you begrudge the reprieve to me? Do you want to see me going the same way in the morning as the Quare Fella?
Do I begrudge what to you? I don't know what it's all about. You're not at all.
Will I throw myself into the grave there? Would you all be satisfied? Would that please you?
I wasn't talking
about you. Don't pay any
you.
little neighbours out chat, son. She wasn't talking about you at all. Go on, have a walk for yourself. Do you all the good no wood. Go on. Mixer's waiting for you.
That's trying to come on. Don't mind a dirty animal.
Hey.
And take it easy, neighbour. I'll call up and see you in the hospital soon someday.
Hey, take care now, Mixer. Take care. I seen the Quare Fella in here a couple of years ago. A young hardsaw. In the pride of his strength and impudence. I saw him over in the ball alley in A yard, and his ball came out and near took the ear off me, and I walking round with poor old Mockerish, and neither of us minded no one, and all laughed, and the Quare Fella said I headed the ball when the ear was nearly cut off, and me deaf out it for 3 days after it. And who is the best of it now? Strong and all as he is, and young as he is. And how will his own ear feel this morning when the washer is under us? And whose legs will be the weakest when the trap goes down from under him and he's dropping the bricks? Ah, what's the use of his young heart now? What's the use?
Shut up, maybe you dirt your half on him, will you? Pipe down, I tell you. Here's a squeal. He's opened the hospital gate.
It's all right. Join the coop with the Quare Fella's tea. Be damned, there's a rush for you. You think they never saw a tape out in our barn day?
What do you think you're on?
out of 2 eggs, and the yolk in the middle like a bride's eye under a pink veil, and the grace of the rashers, pale and pure like melted gold.
Oh, may God forgive you. So the body wasn't sick enough as it says.
The 2 big back rashers.
Go along, you begrudging old dog. Maybe when you go back to standard of living in your town residence number 1R James's Street might be gone up, and they'll be serving rashers and eggs. Oh, you do a lot for them when you begrudge them to a man for his last meal in this sort.
Well, it's not his last meal if you want to know. He gets supper tonight and the breakfast in the morning, and I don't begrudge him the little he lays at that. Seeing the rope stew that's to follow, and the lever pudding and the trap jaw cutlet for dessert. And anyway, didn't you run over the same as the rest of us to see what he was getting?
If I did, it wasn't to begrudge it to the man.
Actually, we all ran over. Anything to break the monotony in a joint like this.
I suppose you're right. In strange ways in Manchester, I know during the war we used to wish for an air raid. If we had one, and we left locked in our cells. We stood up on our tables and took the blackouts off the windows and had a grand stand view of the whole city burning away under us. The screws were running around shouting in the spy holes at us to get down from the windows, but they ran off down the shelters for themselves. And we had a great view of the whole thing till a bomb landed on the assize court next door, and the blast killed 20 of the lags that had their hands stuck up to the bars of the windows. They were left standing there on the tables without marking them. Some said the blast broke their neck, more said it smothered them. They were taken down stone dead. Anyway, we all agreed it broke the monotony.
Well, maybe you won't be the last rasher night the Quare Fella will eat in this world. You never know what might happen before morning. God is good.
And had a good mother?
He be hung as high as Gilderoy.
You're the heart of corn, all right.
Your neighbour is only computing the odds to it. Even's the Sunday bacon, isn't that it, neighbour?
Yes, if you could get anyone fool enough to take us up.
I'll take you up. If it's only to shut your greedy gob itself.
Are you cotton me?
I'm not cotton you. I bet you me Sunday bacon against yours, your man the Quare Fella gets chucked. The reprieve will come before the night's out. I feel it in me bones.
That's rheumatism, Dunlavin. But I'll make the bet. Is he on, neighbour?
He is.
Well, shake on it.
Puts it there.
Why, you Lord Noble.
Oh, never mind that. The minute the trap goes down tomorrow morning, your Sunday bacon is mine.
God lave you your health to enjoy it. The minute that reprieve comes through, your Sunday bacon is Dunlavin's. And better than that, when the Quare Fella comes over to A-Wing to us to wait for the few days before they take him to Maribor to start his life, I'm the very man who'll tell him you better bacon, he'd be topped.
He'd be topped, all right.
Oh, you never know, neighbour.
But you should never be bad enough to tell him a thing like that. If he was reprieved itself, I mean. It should only raise the sense of disturbance. Anyway, there's his grave. And the hangman and his assistant came in today from Collegetown.
What's to stop them sending them back again through Collinstown?
Aye, and they always dig the grave the day before to give them a bit of a sweat. Oh, here's the screw out. Must be time to go in.
Right, fall in. Come on, get in the line there. That's it. Ready for searching. Come along now. No mailbag scissors, needles, knives, razor blades, guns, hatchets, or empty porter bottles.
All done, sir.
Right, sir. On to you, sir. Right. Lead on, B1.
Hang them doors. Get inside and lock them doors. The wind was rising and the day declining as I lay there pining in my prison cell. And that old triangle is when jingle jangle.
Who's that scene? I think it's one of the prisoners in the chokey, Chief. Where? In the punishment cell, sir. Well, that's more like it. Well, tell him to cut it out.
Hey, you down there! Cut it out or I'll give you jingle jangle. There are 70 women.
Is the Quare Fella finished his tea? He is. He's just ready to come out for exercise now, sir. The wings are all clear. They're locked up having their tea. He'll be along any minute. They're coming out here? They're coming now, sir. Oh, do you want him to see his grave bloody well half dug? Run in quick and tell those agents to take him out the side door and exercise him over the far side of the stokehold. And tell them to keep him well into the wall, or he'll be out of sight of the cell windows. Hurry now, don't let him hear. That's on, it's something about another duty. Hurry! It gets better waters in Woolworths. I'd better have a look at this grave now. Well, that's all right. Another couple of feet off the bottom, and we're elected. And we'll get that bottomed out tonight. Regan and young Crimmon in the working party, sir.
4 working party, all correct, sir.
Oh, Mr. Regan.
Right, Chief.
Mr. Crimmon, take over and show them for a minute. The shovels and things are over there. They can bottom another couple of feet and have the clear to top left nice and neat for filling in the morning.
Right, sir.
Yes, Chief.
I was going to say that while these fellows are at work on the grave, a bit of a rest wouldn't do you or the other water any harm. Why don't you just go in there to the hospital and have a bit of a rest and a smoke? It's a long old pull till 8 tomorrow morning.
Mr. Crimmon.
Yes, Mr. Regan?
The chief, decent man, is after giving us his kind permission to go into the hospital and have a sit down and a smoke for ourselves. That's when these fellas have the work started. He knew we'd go in anyway, so he saw the chance of being Flahuluk at no expense to the management. And here's a few fags for the lads.
I got some of out that time. I'll give them some of mine, too.
Don't do anything of the sort. One each is enough. You can slip them a couple when they're going to be locked up if you like. But if these fellas had 2 fags apiece, they'd not work at all, but spend the time out here blowing smoke rings in the air like evening lords. I slip in now. You give them a bit of snout and come out after me. Tell them not to have them in their mouths as the chief when the governor comes out.
Hey.
Seo cúpla tatín. Tá féin sa scrúile do leisteach gan os bedéal nómad. Reine amach na tatíní siú leis glaci í gal. Má hagan an governor nó an chief nó an principal ná bíoch món méla go bhíad. Digan tú?
Take my hamas got a maggot. Right now, go back to your work and no slacking till I come back.
Yes, sir. He gave me cigarettes for us. Only he says for us not to let the governor or the chief or anyone to catch us smoking them.
I never dig a grave for less.
Oh, all the same, it's decent of him and Regan.
Why no, should they have you dead from decency? Same Regan was like a savage there in the bag shop. Couldn't get a word to the fella next to with him.
I never saw him like that before.
It's this fella being chopped in the morning. He's on his nerves.
Well, what's it to Regan? He won't feel a bit of it.
He's always the same at a time like this. I was here when there was a couple of chops, and he was always on with them from the night before. I went with him to the hang house. They all ask for him. They see him when they're on remand or after they're sentenced. It starts off with them asking for him to be on their escort and they're going down to the court on appeal. They think it's a comfort to have him along. I suppose there's some of them thinks he'll bring them luck on account of him being good living.
Good living? Who ever heard of a good living screw?
Regan is. He goes to mass every morning.
And is a lifelong total abstainer, I suppose.
No, he's not that. He told me once, and I going out after doing 12 months, that if I kept off the bear, he'd never come back. I asked him what about himself, and he said he was terrible hardened to it, and would I pray for him.
When I was over with the juveniles last week, he used to tell the kids that we were maybe there to do penance for the police that took us, the jury that tried us, the judge that sentenced us, and the warder that watched us. Especially the judges, you know, they being mostly old men with great opportunity for being vicious.
Well, surely you weren't taken up for nothing.
Oh, the dead of rose and appeared so many. I thought you were going to stop down there where you were safe smoking in your foxhole.
I thought it were better and safer and more discreet to remain in concealment while I smoked. But I can't stop down there and listen to talk like that. As a ratepayer, I can't stand for it. Especially those remarks about the judiciary.
I'm sorry, sir. I was only saying what Mr. Regan
said.
He
shouldn't have said it. According to that man, there should be no such thing as law and order. People could be killed in their beds.
Regan says murder is a hang for all our sins. He doesn't believe in capital punishment.
Well, he must be an atheist. The man is not fit to be in the public service. I'll take it up with the minister when I go out. I was at school with his cousin.
He sounds a right old hypocrite to me, the same Regan. Good living screw. There's no such animal. I've been in every local nick between here and Manchester. I done 2 laggings on the moor and at Parkhurst. I never met a screw yet wouldn't be the better of a healthy kicking from 2 active men wearing navvy boots.
Some people have to be warders and police. Otherwise, what would society come to? We'd be at the mercy of every ruffian that wanted to rob and steal. Life wouldn't be safe and property could have no security.
Who the hell do you think you are? A high court judge or something?
Well, I'm not a common criminal, I'll have you know, sir.
Oh, no, that's right. He's a college-educated man.
Oh, yeah. He's only in for embezzling. There was 2 suicides and a by-election over him.
Oh, you're nearly a political prisoner, ain't you?
I know one of the chief men in the department. His mother was a carrier from Cashel. The grandfather did a month for incitement during the Land War. Since then, they've never looked back. A grand national family. All the boys went to Stonyhurst.
Is that why you done the 5 years, sir?
Oh, no. That was Parkhurst on the Isle of Wight in England. I thought maybe a man's Chinas were there too, huh?
Certainly not, sir. The idea. The carriers of Cashel are most respectable people. Father Dennis will get his parish any minute. And Dr. Jerry is the leading man for stomachs in Old Munster. He's a brilliant man. He came through National with all honours.
Well, I came through Aylesbury Road with all honours, but there was a squad car at the other end waiting to take him off.
My sister's husband, one of the Killeens from Kilcock, was at college with him. He was a gold medalist in Irish.
Oh, when I was in Borstal, I took second prize in the long spit.
Does he speak Irish then, sir?
Of course he does. What do you think they gave him the gold medal for?
And have you got the Irish, sir?
Certainly.
Oh, sir, Toggle and Golor Ogam, so I'm on a mock, sir.
Quite. Tiggin too.
Oh, that's right, yeah. The young fellas from Kerry. From an island where they don't speak much else.
Oh, yes, of course. Probably a different dialect to mine. Then, of course, I've forgotten a lot of it.
That young screw criminal that's on with Regan. The one gave us the cigarettes before he went to the hospital. He's from the same place as the lads here. He snakes up at the landing sometimes when the other screws aren't looking. And there the two of them to be for hours, talking through the spy hole in Irish.
I think that's highly irregular. How could there be proper discipline between warder and prisoner with that sort of familiarity?
There's not much harm in it, sir. He does be only giving me the news of Homan, who's gone to America, to England. He isn't long up here, sir, and neither am I. And the two of us to be each one as lonely as the other.
Actually means no harm. The lad here does sing an old song by times too. He stands up on his table, sings through the bars of the window, all in Irish. But that does be very nice and makes the night less lonely. Each man alone and sad maybe in the old cell. The Quare Fella heard him singing when he was on remand, and after he was sentenced at death, he sent over word by one of the fellas in the hospital that brings him over his grub that he would listen every night around 12 o'clock for him.
Well, tonight's the last. Better make a big effort, kid.
Sure, God help him. You'd pity him all the same. It must be awful to die at the end of a swinging rope and a black hood over his poor face.
I'd be glad that he's not being topped for nothing. They'll take a hatchet to his poor old uncle that never did him a bad turn. You know that was no joke.
I most heartily agree with you, sir. A barbarian, if ever there was one.
Maybe he did those things, but sure God help him this minute. And he knowing this night is his last night on earth, and waiting all through the night to be shaken out of his sleep and rushed to the rope.
Sure, what sleep would he take? Or any of them? They're waiting to be chopped. You don't have to set any alarm for 7:45, I can tell you. Maybe he'd be thinking of the way he'd done in the poor old uncle.
God forgive you, that's an awful thing to say. And maybe he didn't do what you say at all.
It was proved in a court of law, hatcheted the poor old fellow.
Oh, go over, dearie.
You might sing it. Wouldn't put much past in the court of law part of it. But I heard all about it myself from a man that part of the country.
Well, it possibly should be hung 3 or 4 times, not once at all.
Oh, I seen your uncle was at school with the Taoiseach Scranny, and he might fix it up for you.
All the same, when I was in remand, he was waiting to be tried, and he used to walk around the ring with me at exercise every day, and I'd be telling him about my brother that was a ranger in the Yanks army. I'd tell him about my father that was killed in the demolition of Manchester, and anyway, he was great company for me who knew no one, only Jack Keynes be making game of me, and I'm sorry for him now.
Dad, isn't it a terrible pity about you and him? Or maybe the Jack Keynes ought to put down a red carpet for you, and every bloody country robber comes to the place. As if there wasn't anything in it we couldn't attend to ourselves. Or maybe it's the 16 medal with Bard. They ought to get the other bloody bog barbarian. Sure, we're only getting it up for you, kid. I heard you sing yourself last night, and honest to God, you're a credit to your schoolmaster or whoever learned you them songs.
He didn't learn them off any school teacher. He learned them at home on the island.
Faith, he's not the only one learned songs on the island. Learned a couple myself at Parkhurst University on the Isle of Wight. The governor's a filthy old geezer, and he should be bleeding well shot.
Hey, Nick, here he is out.
I've been watching you for the last 10 minutes, and damn the thing you've done except yap the whole time. I thought I could trust you, young fella.
Sure, Mr. Reagan, we were only...
The principal or the chief or any of the others could have been watching, and they'd have thought it was a bloody mother's meeting.
So we were only talking a minute.
That's a lie, no, it's a lie, and it's not worth telling a lie about.
We were caught talking at labour.
Nobody minds talking at labour if you do a bit of labour in between time.
All right, we were idle at labour, contrary to statutory rules and standing orders. I didn't ask to be an undertaker's assistant. And bang me inside right now and case me in the morning. The governor can work me 3 days number 1.
Much that'll worry you.
Oh, you're dead right. I haven't spent longer waiting to change a library bill.
Don't be such a bloody big babby. Even if you want these other fellas to know you done a legging. Where was it? At Port Leisha on the bog?
No, it wasn't on the bog, but at Parkhurst and on the moor.
There you are. There's the national inferiority complex for you. Our own Irish jails aren't good enough for them, but there must be Dartmooring and Parkhursting out of them. It's a wonder you didn't go further as you were at it, to sing of the Devil's Island.
You've not called to be making game of me.
Aye? What are you going to do about it? Get me a half sheet for protection? Go up to the visiting committee? Maybe you'll tell them what I said about him? Well, come on, I'll pass you on up to the circle and you can see the principal and complain if you like.
No, I'm not here to be made a jeer of, whether I've done lagging in England or not.
Well, who said a word about doing a lagging in England? Only yourself. Thinking you were doing the return yank before these other fellas. But Anyway, you and I, we've a bit of business together. Come over here, Odette, for a minute. Come over here, I say.
I don't
Come
want...
over here now when I tell you. Get on with the work there, you. Get on with it. How would you like to do something for that young Kerry kid?
Huh?
That young fella. I put him in the bag shop with you and the other fella. You seem to be decent chaps. I don't mind that old cod of a solicitor or whatever he is. He's lost without the crutches of his money to hold him up, huh? Dill? I suppose we'd be worse in our own way if we were brought up to it. This young Kerry fella was more than likely reared in a good home where they'd have the family rosary every night. Will you do what I ask?
Listen, when I came in here, I put down for religion nil. In England, you can't do that. You won't say or something, they put down C of E. But you can do it here, and I've done it. And I'm not in the line for that sort of chat. I never saw religion in the nick to anything but back up the screws.
Don't be doing the hard cha, man. Think of the hard time an illiterate has in a place like this, at weekends especially. The door's locked on him, nothing to do, not being able to read but look at 4 bare walls. You'll do something for the lad.
I'm not doing after telling you I can't.
Sure, I knew I had only to ask you. I said to myself the minute I saw you that you were the one man I could rely on to look after him. This young Kerry fella, he's only a couple of weeks over the age to be with the juveniles. Now, some of the lags here, they might forget that. I saw letters from his poor mother, and the life is worried out of her, thinking about him and praying for him and telling him not to forget his 3 Hail Marys every night. So I knew you'd do the best you could for him. And get that bit of work a little more advanced when you go back. Myself and Crimmon have a long night in front of us, and we don't want to be out here for the rest of the time. Get back and do a bit now, and don't forget what we were talking about there.
Hey, what's he on about?
I never seen a screw like that before.
Neither did anyone else. He's made from piety.
And I over with the juveniles, he told us that the Blessed Virgin knew us better than the police or the judge or ourselves, that we thought we were terrible sinners, but that she knew us to be good boys, only a bit wild.
Maybe he was near hand right. No, I think it's about time we got another few inches off of this hole. If they're delayed tomorrow morning, they'll make an excuse of it for not giving us the 2 bottles of stout and a couple of fags we're entitled to.
Aye, and if that so-and-so Cronin will be on. Regan is on CCJ and so is Cremin.
Cremin isn't what?
Condemned cell duty. Not the Quare Fella took some fancy to him and asked for him. Of course, they all asked for Regan. But it'll break that young screw up on him only a wet day on the job. They're on the last watch now, 12 to 8.
Till death do us part.
They all ask for Regan, do they? It's said that all murderers are mad, probably some affinity there. That warder's probably not in his right mind.
They say that it's only the governor keeps them in it. They were in the next cell to each other in 1916.
And the nick here?
Yeah, but Regan got penal servitude and was shifted over to England to do his lagging.
His lagging?
15 stretch he was touched for. And sometimes they gave him a clean shirt and Dartmoor, and he never got over it.
What's a clean shirt?
They done him up, give him a kicking. Take you down the digger, tell you to strip naked. And when you come to take off your shirt, they shout that you're resisting a search and batten you on the kidneys.
Knee you in the guts.
Beat you, batten you.
Belly and sides.
But not on the face or exposed portions of the body.
You know, it left Regan a bit queer, they say.
I don't see anything queer about him. He's a good man and charitable.
Charitable? This is no place for charity. On the taxpayers' money, too.
I'll take it up with the department when you go out.
That's all very well, but he'd never do in business. The man is half out of his mind.
Hey, Nick, lad, down.
That's all right. You can get inside. Leave the shovels. We'll want them again in the morning. Go up the steps and call the warder inside, Mr. Crimmon. I'll turn them over.
What party for?
Right, lead on there. Right, sir. 4 walking party. 4 off. On to you, sir. You needn't bother searching them, sir. I've already turned them over. 4 away. Crimmon, we'll be off at 6. As soon as I see himself about a few little things. He came off the north wall this morning.
I heard he came through Collinstown usually.
Oh, only for a rush job. He's nervous of the plane as a rule. Says it's not natural. He'll be out of his rooms in the hospital there in a minute. He's having a sleep after the trip. Then he goes over to the prison to have a look in the spy hole and measure the Quare Fella for the drop. When he's done that, we can go off till 12. You'd better come on a little bit earlier than that, 12:15, say. I'll be in myself from 11:30 on to see if there's any little thing he wants before we go in with the Quare Fella for the night.
Right, Mr. Regan.
And
right.
for God's sake, try and look a bit more cheerful when you come on tonight.
I'll try, Mr. Regan, but I never saw anyone die before.
Of course, I'm a callous savage that's used to it. Seen many men go down the hole.
I didn't mean that, Mr. Regan. Everyone knows you're not like that.
I don't like it now any more than the first hanging I was ever on, and that was the worst, a woman. The last that was ever hanged, and please God that ever will be hanged in this country anyway.
Oh, God send it.
Oh, the women made many a fella grey and drove all Ellis to suicide. He was the hangman those times, and he made 2 attempts on himself before he did it. The women used to scream and roar and plead and cry and had everyone else roaring too. This one was hanged in a dead faint till the trap went down and the jerk woke her to struggle on the rope till she died sitting in a chair.
Oh, God forgive them.
May he forgive everyone. Next I was on was a little Protestant lad. He asked to be walked backwards from the condemned cell to the hanghouse so he wouldn't see the rope. Then the young clergyman who was attending asked if the canon would come with him. He had never seen an execution before. I went to the canon that night and I asked him. A fine big man he was those times. Regan, says he, I thought I might have escaped this time, but you never escape. I suppose neither of us ever will. Ah well, says he, maybe being hung 20 times will get us a minute or 2 sooner out of purgatory, and that'll be something, Regan. That'll be something.
Amen, hear me.
In the morning, the young clergyman was great, and read a bit of the Bible with the young Protestant lad while we waited outside. Then he came out with him, holding his hand, and telling him in their own way to lean on God's mercy that was stronger than the power of men. And I walked beside him and guided him backwards onto the trap and under the beam. Then the rope was put round him and the washer under his ear and the hood down over him, and the young clergyman still called out to me in a grand steady voice in through the hood and stroked his head till he went down. Then the clergyman fainted, and myself and the canon carried him up to the governor's office. Now, listen, Carmen.
Yes, Mr. Regan?
The Quare Fella asked for you especially. They all ask for me. I must think I'm good at it. But he wanted you. Probably because you're a young lad and not yet practiced in badness. All young people are very dear to Our Lady. Did you know that, Crimin?
I say my prayers and I go to Mass every Sunday, but I never thought about things like that.
All the young of the world are under her special protection, they being not long out from under it. That's why you'll be a consolation to the Quare Fella in the morning, when he's surrounded by myself and a few more, bigger bloody ruffians than himself, if the truth was known. He asked for you, and he's depending on you to a great extent. Now, will you do the best you can for him?
I will, Mr. Regan.
Oh, there's another one of the warders here that fancied themselves hard men at the sect. Just as the Quare Fella fancied himself a hard man when he did his own bit of a job. But isn't it a funny thing how a condemned man can pick out the warders that's going to upset most?
Here's somebody now.
It's himself.
Oh.
Well, hello. Oh, are we with us this time? Why, it's Mr. Regan. Well, as girls said to soldier, here we are again.
So I see. Not a bad evening.
No, sir, and we had a very nice crossing. Oh, I'm glad to be in Old Ireland again. Came off boat, had a nice bit of steak and a couple of pints to wash it down. Well, I expect you're waiting to knock off and go down and have something to eat. I'll just go down and have a look and be back in a tick and you can knock off.
We were waiting for you.
This young man coming with us in the morning.
Yes, sir.
Well, just lend me your cap a minute, lad. It shan't be a tick.
I don't think 'twould fit you, sir.
Oh, we don't have to be all that particular. I expect Mr. Regan let me have his. It ought to near fit me by now. Right. You won't catch cold for the time I'll be away. Tap a moment.
What does he want the cap for?
He gets the Quare Fellas away from the doctor, so he'll know what drop to give him. But he likes to have a look at him as well to see what build he is. He says he can judge better with the eye. See, if he gave too much one way, he'd strangle him slowly, and too much the other way, he'd pull the head clean off his shoulder.
Oh, for a dearing.
I know. That's why you should have lent him the cap. When he lifts the cover of the spy hole, all the Quare Fella can see is the peak of a warder's cap. Could be me or you or anyone else looking at him. Himself has no more to do with it than you or I or any of the people that pay us. And that's every man and woman that pays taxes or votes in elections. If they don't like it, then you didn't have it. And if they want hanging, let them keep their mouths shut and not run down men they have working for them, who try to see that it's no worse than the humane killing of the bullock they get their dinner off. Here he's back. No time waiting today.
Very well set up. Oh, fine, lad. 12 stone. Well, I expect you'll give us a call this evening over at hospital. I'm in my usual apartments, Mr. Regan. This young man, too, if he wants to join company. There'll be a sup for everyone, and he'll be quite welcome. Well, ta-ta for present.
We'll be off ourselves now in a minute for a bit to eat. Listen.
Yes, Mr. Regan?
Remember now what I told you. Try and look a bit lively when you come on tonight. The Quare Fella has enough on his plate without putting him into the blue jigs altogether. As the old Home Office memorandum says in recommendations to warders on condemned cell duty, an air of cheerful decorum is indicated, as a readiness to play such games as draughts, ludo, snakes and ladders, and a willingness to enter into conversations on sporting topics will be appreciated. And, Crimin.
Yes, Mr. Regan?
And take off your watch and leave it behind you before you come on tonight. Then, if coming on to morning he asks the time, you can say that you don't know. We better get out now. There's 6 o'clock. In any minute.
Soon the old day will be ended, and a new day begun. The day that will end for one man as the clock strikes 8. Midnight is but a handful of minutes away, but sleep and quiet have not yet come to the silent jail.
The day was dying, and the wind was sighing, while I lay there crying in my prison cell. And that old triangle is when jingle jangle along the banks of the Royal Canal.
Some fellas tapping on the hot water pipes.
I can hear them.
I could understand it years ago when they were locked up at 4 o'clock and the silence rule was on, even at exercise. But you'd imagine they'd be in the humour of a raid or something now. Anything to take their minds off the other thing.
Well, we go into the wing and round the landing and see who it is.
Devil a bit of use, that'd be. Again, you'd have lifted the cover of the spy hole in one and had a look. The fella in the next cell would have heard you and passed the word along his pipe to the rest, and the whole landing would know we were going around.
What's going to happen if the governor or the chief or one of the principals comes round and hears this carry on?
The governor and the chief will have more to worry them tonight. That's what has all these fellas yapping. Tomorrow morning, every last man of them will be up and waiting for 6 o'clock. And when it comes to 7:45, the screeches and roars of them will deafen the world. They say the roaring and shouting is the last thing the fella hears, and him wriggling his broken neck in the rope.
Shocking business. You think they'd have some decency in them for one that's, when all's said and done, one of themselves? If it was
Easy there. Do you hear that? That's the chief of one of the others coming over the yard. Quick! Go inside you and round the landings. And let on you're looking for them fellas talking on the hot water pipes. Hurry!
On the way, I'll make it fast.
Everyone on the jump. You'd think it was us that killed the old uncle, not the Quare Fella. All correct, sir.
What the hell do you mean, all correct? Haven't the chief and I been watching you this half hour and you yapping away with that other fellow?
Well, there was men communicating on the hot water pipes, sir. I told that fella not once but 10 times to go inside the landings and see who it was. It's my opinion, sir, that man is a bit of a tick.
Oh, it's your opinion. You're that tick yourself, you ought to be a fair judge.
And who the hell are you to tell anyone to do anything? Don't you know you're on night patrol the same as the other man is? And it's your job to be inside the wing there, going around the landing so that you pass each cell at least once every hour.
I thought, sir, on account of the night that's in it...
Why, is it Christmas?
Listen here, you. The principal's already told you what your job is, what you should have known already. But there's an execution in the morning has nothing to do with you. That's already attended to. It's not in your care.
Maybe you came out to mind the grave, thinking it might be pinched. This place is so full of thieves you can leave nothing out of your hand.
You're a regular cure for the blues, mister. I don't know where you get it from. Well, I'm expecting the governor any minute. I'll speak to this man. You can go down and see how things are.
Very good, sir.
Oh, go in with you, with that man that's on duty with you, and resume your patrol. What do you think the governor would say if he knew you'd been out here all the time, instead of being about the landings? Off with you, and we'll forget about it.
Very good, sir. And thank you, sir.
Well, that's all right. On your way. And see that the prisoners aren't talking on the hot water pipes all night. You know how it is the night before an execution.
Oh, there'll be no talking, sir. Lay that to me. And thanks again, sir.
Keep them quiet. There's first hope of that. And every man of them afraid to sleep. The governor's early. All correct, sir.
All right, Chief. Everything quiet?
I'm just after sending the principal down, sir, to see how things are. He should be back in a minute.
I'll be going down there shortly myself. I gave him the final word about the reprieve this afternoon. You know how these things are, Chief. The poor fellow keeps on hoping for last-minute developments. Oh, well. I'll go down again before the canon comes to him. Make them all settle for confession when they know there's absolutely no hope.
Well, I know it, sir. It's the principal reporting back, sir. How is he?
Very well, sir. Sitting by the fire and chatting to the warders on either side of him. He says he might go to bed after he sees the priest.
All right. Well, you go over to the hospital and see that the breakfast is laid out for himself and his two assistants. Make sure they get a couple of rashers and eggs apiece. There's a fellow under sentence of death next week in the Crumlin, and we don't want him going up to Belfast and saying we starved him. I'm off with you.
That's right, sir. Very good, sir.
Have they come back from town yet?
Oh, not yet, sir. But it's well after closing time. I don't suppose they'll be long now. After he took the Quare Fella's measurements, your man went over to the place he drinks in. Some pub at the top of Grafton Street. They say he's the life of the bar there. Of course, the customers don't know who he is. They think he's an English commercial traveller.
I suppose his work makes him philosophical. They say that drink's the comfort of the philosophers.
I wouldn't doubt but you're right, sir. But he told me he only takes a drink when he's on the job, as you might say. He never touches it in the pub he has in Lancashire.
I see. Jenkinson and his other assistant don't touch anything, do they?
Oh, not a drop, sir. If you ask me, he only brings Jenkinson along in case he'd get a bit jarred. To mind him, so to speak. Oh, Jenkinson is a strict TT. A very good-living street preacher he is, for the Jehovah's Witnesses or someone. And the other fellow, the assistant he calls Christmas, he plays in the band when Jenkinson is preaching.
Well, that's all to the good, I suppose. Less drinking and carousing, the better. This is one place, Chief, where an execution must be taken very seriously indeed.
Yes.
Well, I better be off down to the condemned cell, Chief.
Good night, sir. I'll see the relief on for last duty before I go off.
Good night, Chief.
Here you are, Mr. Regan. Is the other man coming along?
He'll be along in a minute.
I don't know what we'd do without you, Regan, on these jobs. Is there anything myself or the governor could do to make things easier?
You could say a decade of the rosary.
I could hardly ask the governor to do that.
I suppose his prayers would be as good as anyone else's.
Was there anything on the practical side we could send down?
A bottle of malt.
Do you think he'd drink it?
No, but I would.
Mr. Regan, I'm surprised at you.
I was reared among people that drank at a death or prayed. Some did both. You think the law makes this man's death some way different? Not like anyone else's? Your own, for instance?
I wasn't found guilty of murder.
No, now no one is going to throttle the life out of you in the morning. It may be as well to get this fellow out of the way. He seems to have thought as little about another man's life as you. But it's not him I'm thinking of, it's myself. And you're not going to give me that stuff about just shoving over the lever and Bob's your uncle.
Oh, no.
I am the fella that has to walk to the gallows with him, I know.
Mr. Regan, I'm surprised.
That's the second time.
All correct, sir.
Right, son. I hope you'll forget those things you mentioned just now, Mr. Regan. If talk the like of that got outside the prison...
I think the whole show should be put on in Croke Park. After all, it's at the public expense and they like it. They should get something more for their money than a bit of paper stuck up on a gate.
Good night, Regan. Only I know you, I'd report what you said to the governor. I would indeed.
You will anyway. Good night, sir.
Will it soon be time for us to be gone down, Mr. Regan?
Soon enough, soon enough. It's not 12 yet. Buses are still running. Do you hear the buses? Fellas leaving their marts home after the pictures are coming from dances. And a few old fellas well jarred and half sober for fear of what herself would say when they get in the door. Only a few 100 yards up there on the bridge, and it might as well be 100 miles away. Here's Donnelly. Himself must be back from the pub.
bona fide cobblers, myself, Ma Regan.
There is a smell of your breath now. You take drink from the public hangman.
What are you waiting for his nibs for? You'll not refuse a drink from him, will you?
Well, Dad, I never ate the man's breakfast anyway. And if you want to know, this lad with me doesn't take anything. And as for myself, your man invited me over to his quarters tonight. But it was a backhanded invitation, seeing as it's near 12 o'clock and we have to go on in a couple of minutes. You saying good for him?
Sure, we're after lowering half a dozen or so down at the gate and I letting them
Oh, it was not a beauty alone that won me. Oh, no, it was the truth in her eyes ever shining that made me love Mary, the Rose of Tralee.
Hey, good man yourself.
Hello, and good evening, Mr. Regan. And you, young fellow, my lad, come along with us to my usual apartments in hospital. Oh, if you're Irish, come into the parlour.
Says the spider to the fly.
Have less, Enoch, have less. And try and look a bit more cheerful. I'm telling you, you're a young man.
Regan can't come in with us. He used to go on duty now. You've left it too late.
We'll stay here with him. If Mountain won't come to Mohammed, then Mohammed must go to Mountain.
As the girl said to the soldier.
As girl said to soldier. Enoch, give Mr. Regan a drink.
No, we can't. We've got to be off now.
Oh, never mind, off now.
You needn't worry about them. Sure, they're off the morning.
Now, we'll have one together, Mr. Regan. You know, it's an happy, though all too seldom occasion when you and I meet, and we'll have one drink together anyway. Enoch, divulge thy hospitality. Oh, she was lovely and fair like the roses in summer. Yet it was not her beauty alone that won me. Oh, how's that for an old man, eh? Oh, that's a lovely song, Enoch. It got holy wars in it and all. The pure Christian fountain. Oh, ain't that lovely? You know, I love the old Irish songs. Every Saturday night, it's nearly all Irish comes into our place, the kind Christopher.
What's that, Mr. Regan?
That's his pub in England. Over there, they don't have the man's name over the shop like here at all. They give them fancy names of their own. His is called the Kind Christopher. It's what they call a sporting pub.
And that's what it is, lad. A sporting pub. And an old sport behind counter and all. And all the Irish lads come in, don't they, Enoch?
I reckon they do. I suppose it's because no one else would go in it.
Well, I like that. And why shouldn't they come in it? Good beer, ain't it? I thought you'd know nothing about that. Well, good health to one and all.
May we never do worse.
Aye. And what do you mean, Enoch Jenkinson, by saying no one, only the Irish, would go into my boozer, the Kind Christopher? Anyone didn't know me would think worse of me or pub hearing you say the like. And you know better than most that I'd go 100 miles to do a man a good turn.
Actually, you're worse to give any heed to that dirty-looking teetotal idiot. Damn it all, Jenkinson, you're going around like Mother Hunger riding on King Griddle's granny.
You keep remarks to yourself, Mr. Donnelly. I'm officer of the law, same as you are. And I've half a mind to report you if you give me any more of your lips, so I have...
And if you are an officer of law, Enoch, then who have you to thank for it? Who brought you to notice of the authorities as a Christian man could be relied on to do his duty, as I've done mine? Don't you know as how I got out of a sick bed when I was dying of flu to hang a soldier in strange ways, when I thought you and Christmas hadn't sufficient experience? Then you go and say no one will drink in my pub, the Kind Christopher.
I sure take no heed of him.
I tell you what, Enoch, lad, and we'll fight no more. Go in and fetch Christmas.
He's most likely in bed, where all God-fearing people are at this hour.
Well, go and get him out of it and tell him to bring his concertina. We'll sing no profane music, but just that hymn. Go on, Enoch. That's a good lad.
Well, only for you, mind.
Oh, he's a good lad, is our Enoch, but he's in dumps at moment, him and Christmas. You know, they used to sing on street corners with Band of Holy Joy every Saturday night for recreation, like. Christmas played concertina and all, but some of the no-goods round streets found what their hobby was, working with me, like, and started putting bits of rope in collection boxes. So bandmaster put them off outdoor testimony to save embarrassment, like, and, that's what has them in dumps.
Well, they spoil the party. That's what that fella's after doing. Teetotalers is all the same.
Oh, well, now it's young yet. Still, maybe we'd better be getting in. I've got to do a few little sums and be ready for the morning. Oh, where's that bloody notebook? Oh, here we are. Oh, can I trouble you for loan of pencil, Mr. Regan?
To be sure, here, the pint isn't too good.
Will I bring the stout to your quarters, huh?
I do.
Right.
I'll sit here and listen to Enoch and him while I do me little sums so as to be ready for morning. Taking a man of 14 stone as basis, giving him a drop of 8 feet. Every half stone lighter would require a 2-inch longer drop. Weight 14 stone, drop 8 feet. Weight 13 stone 7, drop 8 feet 2 inches. Weight 13 stone, drop 8 feet 4 inches. Well, that's that. He's an RC, I suppose, Mr. Regan.
That's right.
Good. Well, that settles everything. Well, I think I'll be turning in. I'll see you in the morning. Good night.
Night. Good night for stars, if there's life in any of them.
On the stars, is it, Mr. Regan?
Aye, on the stars. I wonder, do the same things happen up there? Maybe some warders on a planet are walking across a prison yard this minute, and some fella up there waiting on the rope in the morning and looking out through the bars for a last look at our earth and the moon for the last time. Regular choir practice going on round here tonight?
It's the young Kerry lad. He's singing it for...
He's singing it for the Quare Fella.
Why did the Englishman ask if he was a Catholic?
So's they'd know to have the hood slit to anoint him on the rope. And so's the fella below would know for to take his boots and socks off to put the holy oils on his feet when he goes down.
And so they came to an end, the uneasy day and the brooding night. And the new day dawned under a high summer sky that one man would not live to see.
How's the time?
7 minutes.
As soon as it goes 5 to 8, the hullabaloo and the racket from the cells will start. You'd think they were working with stopwatches. They'll all shout and roar. And how we can be expected to pick out one against other is more than I can tell.
Anyone that can be proved to be taking a part in the shouting or yelling deserves all that's coming to him. It's a queer thing to be dying on a rope and a lot of screeching and bawling in your ears for the last thing you'd hear.
He'll have more to worry him in a minute or so. And the fellas that's yelling, maybe it's because they're every bit as frightened as the Quare Fella himself. How's the time?
Just past 6 minutes. Here it comes.
I knew it. That damn mixer. I know he's racket. He'll do the broadcasting stunt, pretending he's watching the whole procession from cell to trap, the same as if it was the Grand National.
There's always a blackguard like him to start the trouble going.
All ready for the start. Here they come. Here comes the High Sheriff of this ancient city of ours, famed in song and story. Close behind cannon. The Quare Fella betrayed them. 2 more screws. The 3 runners from cross channel. Now comes the cannon. They're getting closer now. The Quare Fella's towing the chalk line now. They have a pigeon now. Feet together. The screws are slipping off the trap. They're steadying them. If justice goes to the neighbour,
And just as he come to every man, death has come to the Quare Fella. Now we'll go in and get that mixer. I'll soften his cough for him. Come on.
Wait a minute. What's wrong? Why, it's Kramer.
Here, will you keep bringing him yourself a hand of this fella? He fainted when the trap was
Easy
struck.
does it here. Take his shoulders. Up with him. These young screws aren't worth a life.
That's a son of bacon, you me done loving. Your man was topped after all. No doubt in that decision. You won't be long after him. I won't go till you pay me the bacon you owe me. The bacon? Oh, there's something I forgot to tell you, neighbour. Something about the bacon. What did you forget? Your man was topped, so I get the bacon. You lost your bet. I know, neighbour. But the doctor said yesterday that my stomach was out of order, and he put me on a milk diet.
Get down from those windows! Get down at once! At once, I tell you! Working party. You 4, look lively. This is a busy morning. Hey, you there in front. Have you the cold chisel and hammer?
Yes, sir. All correct, sir.
You other 3. The shovel's away, you left them. Go on to work there and deepen it out a bit and clear the top and have it ready for filling in. You with the chisel. You have to carve E777. Got that?
Yes, sir. E777.
That's it. E777. White stone on the wall there. That's the nearest spot. Go ahead now. There's the usual 2 bottles just out of man. But only if you work properly. Get it done quickly. You haven't all day.
Hey, come over here a minute.
What?
Did you say that stone on the wall is nearest to it?
Well, she wants it bloody well too. It's only for the records. No one will ever want to dig him up to canonise him.
Well, that's right enough. E777. That's the end of him.
And the mice were squealing in my prison cell, and the old triangle went jingle jangle, and the old triangle went jingle jangle, and the old triangle went
That was The Quare Fella, a play by Brendan Behan, adapted for radio by Philip Rooney, and produced by Miholo Hay, with Arthur O'Sullivan as Dunlavin, John Stephenson, neighbour, Frank O'Dwyer, the first prisoner, Brendan Caldwell, the second prisoner, Charles McCarthy, the third prisoner, Eamon Keane, the young prisoner, Lionel Day as the lifer, Thomas Dudley, Mr. Healy, Eamon Kelly, Warder Regan, Joseph O'Dea, Warder Donnelly, Neil Tobin, the first warder, George Green, the governor, Chris Curran, the principal, Connor Farrington, the chief, Brendan Burke and Leo Layden as the juvenile prisoners, Thomas Dudley, mixer, Noel Lynch, the young warder, Brendan Caldwell, the hangman, and Lionel Day as Jenkinson. The singers were Brendan Behan, Liam de Valley, and Lionel Day.